Here we go with the drone video for tract 36 at Cedar Gap Hollow. It's a little over 5.5 acres, 5.6 acres is what it's shown here. We're starting here on the south end. It actually borders an easement road on the south and the north end. We're parked on the south end, and you can see as we look northerly there's a driveway that winds around, and then there's a small clearing tucked behind the trees there. So at some point this was leased out and had I believe a portable cabin on that clearing, and that's been removed, but it does still have the driveway in the clearing. We're looking northerly. This is a really interesting property. Check out the full listing page if you can. Looking northerly, you can see the creek bed at about the middle of the property. That appears to be a huge gravel deposit on the property there. This is one of those tracts that I wish we could spend a day or two just exploring this property, because there's a lot going on with this property. We're going to get a look at some of that with this drone video. As we start at the south end here, we already mentioned the easement road frontage on the south end. There's the private driveway that goes northerly, opens up into a little clearing. We have a ground video that actually shows that pretty well, where we walk down the driveway into the clearing. Going northerly, there's the gravel deposit in the creek bed. Huge gravel deposit. I mean, that would be fun to check that out. That looks really neat. Going northerly from the creek bed, we know we get into some bigger timber, and then it rises up. We've got a natural glade area. It rises and then starts to level, and then you've got the north side with an additional easement road on the north side. So both easement roads, any easement roads at Cedar Gap Hollow, you want a four-wheel drive truck or SUV. In particular, tract 36 is one of the tracks in the northwest corner, so it's the most private, most secluded, and probably one of the ones that you most want a four-wheel drive truck or SUV to get to. In fact, that road on the north, until recently, had really never been accessible with anything but a side-by-side or a four-wheeler. And now here a few months ago, it looks like there's been some work done to that, and we were able to drive right up to the north side in a Tahoe. But definitely want to be aware that four-wheel drive truck or SUV for tract 36 for sure at Cedar Gap Hollow. So now we're over the north end. We're looking down at the north side, and we're oriented, so we'll be facing southerly. The easement road ends just after the property, so no through traffic on the north side. On the south side, the easement road continues on through there. All right, so now we've spun around. We're facing south. And if you look closely, you'll see the white truck parked on the easement road there. That's going to be at the south end of the property. So the south end has a little over 200 feet of frontage on the easement road. And then the north end, I believe, has around 140, 150 feet of frontage. And panning down here. The creek bed that crosses over about the middle of the property, that's definitely not a year-round creek. We've been out there when there's been water flowing through it, and more often than not, there's not water flowing through it. There may be pools of water at different times throughout the year, but generally it's not flowing. Now that's looking way off to the south. That kind of pond lake in the distance is just on the other side of Highway 60. There's some vultures. Sometimes they check out our drone because they're very curious about it. The vultures and the red-tailed hawks. Probably now and then an eagle. This property it's one of the tracks that has some gorgeous timber on it, specifically on that north side as you get north of the creek bed and it rises up. There is some very pretty timber. This does have that natural glade area that you'll see if you check out the listing page, check out the interactive map and zoom in. It's got a glade area toward the north side, which is really, really cool. We might even get to look at that in a second here with the drone video. It looks like it was a little overcast when this drone video was taken, but we're still getting a good look at the property. So that's going to be that natural glade area on the property, or part of it. I know when we did the kind of the intro video with the interactive map, we switched to the infrared map, and that showed the glade really well. You could see it much more clearly with that, but just kind of a natural, cool area that you don't often see. Now still heading southerly, coming up on that big gravel deposit. Depending on what you're doing on your property, if you're doing any construction, you're likely to need gravel in one form or another. Or if you're doing any landscaping, a lot of people love natural creek gravel. And it's fairly expensive to purchase it and have it delivered. So right there, for use on your own property, you've got many, many, many thousands of dollars worth of gravel, which is pretty cool. Looking south, and now the creek bed being the lowest spot on the property, now we're rising back up as we go southerly toward that south easement road. And just in the foreground, just off to the left of center, you can see the cleared spot where there was some type of portable building or cabin at some point. The driveway looks like it was designed really well. So it kind of curves back and forth, so the site itself really not visible from the road. So you're going to have a nice private feel if that's the site that you choose to use for your camping or your hunting or your building or whatnot. What a cool property. So we might have mentioned this already, but Cedar Gap Hollow is a homesteader-friendly development. So not only is it only about 30 miles east of Springfield, Missouri, which is the largest city in southern Missouri, but being a homesteader-friendly development means no minimum square footage size for your structure and no requirement of a concrete foundation. So that opens up just a ton of options as far as if you want to do a tiny house, if you want to have a portable cabin or whatnot delivered. It's got basic property covenants in place. There's some setbacks. There are no single wide mobile homes allowed. I believe double wides are allowed if they're a certain age or newer. You can check the listing page for that or give us a call and we'll double check on that. But a lot of freedom at Cedar Gap Hollow, which is fantastic. So you can go to the website, InstantAcres.com. Everything we sell on our website, we offer 100% instant owner financing. We've been doing it for years and years here in the Ozarks. We're happy to help you with any of the properties you see on our site. So go to InstantAcres.com. If you're looking at this particular tract, it's tract 36 at Cedar Gap Hollow. It's going to be within the Homesteader Friendly section, and then click on Cedar Gap Hollow or Cedar Gap Hollow West probably. And then scroll down to tract 36 to check availability. If you have any questions, let us know. Send us an email, give us a phone call. But first, visit our website at InstantAcres.com.